morning, commuters. So, you're probably thinking, Julie, what the hell is this? I got a new thing for my camera, and I decided to point it in the other direction. You don't need to see my ugly mug in the morning. Nobody does. So, I don't even like to look in the mirror in the morning. So, what should we talk about? Well, what else? This horrible, horrible election of a horrible, evil man. That's what we should talk about. Here's my thing. I have been asked why I will no longer talk to people who voted for Trump. And here's why. One, you just voted for a man who just put as one of his cabinet picks for health and for the housing, for HUD, Ben Carson, who has no experience as a leader, no experience as an administrator, and whose only experience is he grew up in the projects. Well, that should be a pat on the back, except he doesn't believe in any public aid or anything like that, despite the fact that that's how he got through school. He just put in charge of schools a woman who doesn't believe in public schools, and he just put in charge of the EPA a guy who doesn't believe in the EPA. And the kicker, the one that I think is hilarious, is he just put in charge of labor a man who doesn't believe in minimum wages. So all of you who voted for Trump that depend on hourly wages, or or all of you who voted for Trump that just got that or would have gotten that raise because your salary and you make less than $43,000 a year, and President Obama said no, you can't be salary if you're making less than $23,000 a year. You're $23,000 or less than $43,000. You are all screwed, every one of you, and you voted for Trump. So there you go. There's that. And here's why. I mean, let's ignore the fact that the man's a racist. Let's ignore the fact that the man's a sexist pig. He's sexist. I'm just going to toss all that out. This is why I, personally, cannot forgive you for voting for Trump. So pay attention. Oh, thank you for moving over. No, don't you come over. All right, here's why I cannot forgive you for voting for Trump. He picked as his running mate Pence, who signed the worst anti-gay law in the entire country. He picked a man for his running mate as vice president. He's now Vice President-elect Pence from frickin' Indiana, a man who believes gay people should not have the same rights and privileges that is afforded to every other American. He picked as his running mate somebody who doesn't think I should be able to be legally married to Cheryl. This is real, people. This is serious. You have no idea how I fought for my rights. You have no idea the struggle I went through to get to where I am today. None. First, as a woman, any woman who voted for Trump's a fucking moron. First, as a woman, I struggled because you're a woman, I'm a woman, and if you're in the workforce, you know you have to do twice as hard as a man to get half as much credit. Second, I'm a lesbian. Do you know how many jobs I lost because I was a lesbian? Do you know how many times I was harassed at my job because I'm a lesbian? Because I don't believe in, let's be quiet about this. Oh, just don't say anything. I shouldn't have to. Do you know how, and thank God it didn't happen to us, but how there are gays and lesbians denied the right to be next to their dying loved one because they weren't legally married? Thousands of them were denied the right to be there. thousands. And do you know what it's like to be a 17-year-old girl just doing her job and getting cornered by a group of teenagers who kept repeatedly calling her dyke and pushing her around, and if security hadn't shown up, God only knows what would have happened to me? No, you don't know that, because you don't see the 17-year-old me who came out of my closet bravely and scared, because you didn't know me then. I'm talking to the Trump supporters. I know my friends that knew me back then know this. But those who didn't, you did not see that happen. You have no idea what that was like. You have no idea what it's like to lose your job and know that the only reason you're losing a job is because of something you can't control, which is your sexual orientation. And ironically, I wasn't even dating anybody at the time. No, you see me now as a confident, outgoing, liberal, married lesbian. Because that's all you can see. That's all I am right now. But you have not seen me fight. And you have no idea. I am not going back. And I am not going to allow those kids who go to Pride Fest and want to come out of their closets, I am not going to let them go back either. And that's why I cannot forgive you for your vote for Trump. That's why, because I am not going to allow this country to send blacks back to the 1950s. I am not going to allow this country to register people for their religion and send us to the 1930s Germany, because that's how it started, people. There may not be any ovens right now, but that's how it started. I am not going to allow you to say, well, there's a precedent because we locked up the Japs during World War II, to allow you to do that to our Japanese citizens today, or our Muslim citizens, because we have precedent. I'm not going to allow you to do that. Now, if you were my friend and you really gave a rat's ass about me, you would never have voted for somebody who would put my life and my lifestyle and my way of life and my marriage in such danger. You have so little regard. This isn't a political difference. No, this is you're either standing up for the rights of others, the rights that were given to us by the Constitution of the United States of America. You are either standing up for those rights, or you sat down and voted for the guy who's going to take them away. And that's what you did. And that's why I cannot forgive you. You have no idea the struggle that took me from when I came out of the closet just after I graduated from high school, July of 1985, at 17 and a half years old. I came out of my closet, peeked around, saw the hatred in the midst of AIDS. It was the AIDS epidemic. I got called dyke. I had my car vandalized. I lost jobs. I marched in parades. It was tough. It was tough. And you know, most of the time, I have a friend of mine, great person, and she's always like, geez, Julie, I always admired you for doing that. And I always poo-poo it. I really do. Because I'm like, you know, I just did what I had to do to get what I wanted and to get to where I am in life. And I worked for this. And I fought for this. And I did this on my own. And I always poo-poo it. But you know what? It was a long, hard struggle. And you never saw that struggle. So you're drawing the line, because you're a Wisconsin resident, drawing a line for Trump's name and choosing him to be our next president with the guy he picked as his vice president is despicable to me. Because you didn't have to struggle. You didn't have a struggle. You have never been, nobody has ever denied you your rights for anything. You woke up one morning and decided to get married, you got married. You want a job? You get a job. Nobody looks at you. I have a friend of mine who did telephone interviews, African American, did telephone interviews. She said when she walked in, she could tell that they didn't realize she was black, and she didn't get those jobs. It still happens today, people. And you voted for Trump thinking it's no big deal. You have no idea how many nights I cried myself to sleep from age 17 to age 25 and even 28 because I was lonely, because I was discriminated against, because the whole fucking world hated me. You have no idea what that's like. You have no idea the struggle. None. Now, I will honestly say I have no idea what the struggle is to be a black woman in the United States. I have a good idea. I have a guess. And I didn't have to come out of my closet. I could have stayed in my closet, which is probably where most of my family wanted me to be. But I did it. I did it on my own terms, and I did it my way. As a matter of fact, that's what I tell Cheryl. I want my way sung at my wedding, or my funeral, because that's what I did. I did it my way. And I stood up with my head up. And I didn't let people see when I was hurting. I just did it. And that's why you have no idea what my struggle is. And you think I should forgive you for voting for Trump. Well, it's a political difference. It's not a political difference. It's an attack on my life. It's an attack. You know, my mother didn't live long enough to see me legally married to the woman I'm spending the rest of my life with. My mother didn't get to see her daughter walk down the aisle and have a minister say those words and have it be a legal ceremony. She got to see the first one where it wasn't legal, but she didn't get to see that. So, no, I am not forgiving you for voting for Trump because you just slapped me and every person who is a different race, a different ethnicity, a different religion, and a different sexual orientation from you in the face. And you said, fuck you. I don't give a shit about your life. I care about my life. And the thing is, you're screwed. You are screwed. You voted for Donald frickin' Trump and you think that's going to make your life better. No, it's not. And you showed your true racist colors. I mean, I could always kind of say, maybe. But no, you're racist. And apparently, I didn't realize it, you're also homophobic. So, you know, no, you don't get to say. And to anybody who was younger, and in any one of those categories that I reckon I mentioned, the reason that you didn't have a struggle is because I fought for your struggle. Because other people fought for your struggle. So if you think, wow, none of that happens to me, it's because somebody else fought for your struggle. Some people died for your struggle so that you didn't have to. So that you didn't have to. So that's what I got to say this morning. Fuck you to anybody who's a Trumper. Kiss my lily white, big, fat, lesbian dyke ass. By the way, if any of the rest of you call me a dyke, I will kick your fucking ass. Go fuck yourself. That's what I got to say to the Trumpers. To the non-Trumpers, this is what I got to say to you, commuters. I think you should share this with your Trumper friends, if you have any left. And tell them a big fuck you from me. So there you go. Have a good day, commuters. I know this was a little long. Sorry about that.